Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to do our NFL Fantasy Dream Team review for Game Week 2 of the 2023 season. And as you can see, a much better week for ourselves with 522 points, which ranked us in the top 2% or in the top 50 overall for the week. And we basically halved our season rank, so we're into the top 1,000. Obviously, there's only a couple of thousand people playing, um, but that's a win's a win. We'll take it. So, uh, if we have a look at the team and how it went, if it just needs to reload. So our quarterbacks obviously went much better this week. So Josh Allen with the 46 as our captain. We could have got a few more points if we squeezed out a VC of Jalen Hurts with 52. But we did trade out Deontay Johnson, who would have been our sort of loophole option. So that's fine. At this point in the season, we're probably more worried about making bank and getting our team set up just right. Anthony Richardson, so got two rushing touchdowns, looked the goods, and then went off with a concussion. So unfortunate, but he definitely looks like a season-long keeper. Is definitely more than suitable to replace either of these guys during their buys. So we're not going to touch the quarterback situation, even though I know Jordan Love is one of the highest scoring players so far this season, but Richardson's our guy on the bench. Um, so in the running backs, a much better week also. So Saquon with 47. Um, did go off with, I think, a knee injury, knee or ankle. I can't remember which one now. And initially was said to be out for 3 weeks. The latest news this morning is that he's an outside chance to play. They do play on Friday morning, the Thursday night game in America. So I'd suggest he's probably not going to play this week. Um, but, with his money, it might be a difficult one to hold, given the form of some of the other guys in the position. Bijan Robinson, solid again with a 37. James Cook improved with the 35. Jameer Gibbs, is still a bit of a slow burn option with 17. Rashad White, 37, got a touchdown and a bit of other stuff. Hopefully we can see that here. We're going to go to fantasy stats. So what's that? Receiving yards, rushing yards, sorry, he got 14 points for receiving, rushing touchdowns. I think he got two touchdowns. That's why he got 12 points. So much improved output, although it was against Chicago. So I guess we're not going to expect that necessarily every week. And Javonte Williams with 12. So again, a bit of a slow burn. It could even be sort of on par. Yeah, so break even of 14. Our wide receivers, we've got Justin Jefferson, consistent as ever, 38 points. Tyreek Hill didn't, sort of go massive like he did in week one, but 25 is okay. Stephon Diggs, 20, didn't get a touchdown, so that limited his upside. Olave with the 23, so very consistent there for him. Calvin Ridley was a bit flat compared to week one with 8 points. And Puka Nakua, he continues to kill it with 44 this week. So you can see he's averaged 38.5 across the first 2 weeks. The amount of targets he's getting is ridiculous. So yeah, if you haven't got him, he is the number one target this week. Sky Moore getting a touchdown, so he went up to 29. And Gabe Davis, 36. So, if Diggs misses, chances are Davis is the one that's going to hit. So, the Buffalo tag team and I guess the triple stack with Josh Allen is working out pretty well so far. Travis Kelsey was back for us with 21, and Darren Waller also with the 21, so very consistent there from those guys. Luke Musgrave with just a 7, but still highly utilised in that offense. Just I guess really need him to get some touchdowns to lift his upside. The kickers, killing it. Moody with 28 again. Aubrey with 36. And I actually watched a fair bit of that Dallas game. They looked really good in attack and defense. Speaking of defense, New Orleans Saints got 14 and the Chicago Bears got 4. But as you can see, they're still averaging -1 for the season. So, um, yeah, I guess in terms of trades this week, if we just have a look at the players, I guess, in terms of not in my team, um, I think these top three are my three main targets. So, Kyron Williams, he's pretty much the running back at the Rams. So at 3.2, I think he is a must have. Christian McCaffrey is just looking really good. So he's like the number one running back option. And the Dallas Cowboys defense. So I know I said I wasn't going to trade defenses, but the Cowboys look ridiculously good. Micah Parsons is an absolute freak. So I think I just want to be on just to cheer him on. So, we might try and look at getting him in. Um, as we said, Jordan Love is a great option if you are looking for a cheap quarterback that's playing this week. But if you've got Richardson, I would just hold. And Jerome Ford is the other great option. So Nick Chubb out for the season with a knee injury. Um, Happened in Monday Night Football. So Jerome Ford will take over. They let Kareem Hunt go. So they obviously back this guy in as that backup option for Nick Chubb. So, he's the other target. So you can see, there's a bit of a few great targets in the running back position. But we'll look at some other positions too. So uh, I'll just take Richardson out for a second just so we can have a look at the quarterback situation. So, Love's the obvious target. Um, if you've got Mahomes over one of these other two guns, I can't begrudge you that. Um, Kirk Cousins, he's always going to have a high pass volume, which I think is probably beneficial in this format. But obviously, having the running upside does help even more so. Um, yeah, so Russ had a good day out. Who scored the most? Daniel Jones. So he's an interesting one, particularly if Saquon's out this week. You'd imagine he'll just run more, um, which will only add to his scoring upside. But I think it's a bit too inconsistent. There's a reason why the top three are sort of cut above the rest. And as I said, in terms of the rookies, it's either going to be Jordan Love, who's slipped down the list a bit here, at 40. CJ Stroud looks like Houston Texans are throwing the ball a lot and they're backing him in. So he's another cheap option. But Richardson just has that running upside, which is just going to benefit us in the long term. In terms of the wide receivers options, uh, get rid of Sky Moore, I suppose. It doesn't really matter. So you got a few options there that popped off this week. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. So interesting that they've listed him as playing one game after getting 0 in week one. So there's a little sneaky loophole we might be able to take advantage of this year as well. We already found the Gabe Davis loophole. Um, so yeah, potentially those players that score 0 in a given week, their games might not count. Marvin Mims, he had that one massive grab. So, probably not the biggest concern. I think if you're looking for a cheap wide receiver, it's Nakua. If you need another one, you probably could look at Gabe Davis, obviously super cheap. Jalen Reed's solid. Tank Dell is an interesting option. And also Jordan Addison. I know he's one of the most popular wide receivers, but yeah, if you're looking to downgrade, I think he's the other good option. Um, in terms of the guns, I've scrolled past a few there, but these guys are all sort of fairly priced. I think CD Lamb's looked really good again. Like I said, I watched the Dallas game, and yeah, he was killing it. Debo, that's a nice return from him. So 10.5 mil, that's an interesting option. Devontae Adams is fairly expensive, and I think he's in a bit of doubt this week, so I wouldn't get on him straight away. Garrett Wilson, he scored a touchdown, so even with a lesser quarterback, he's doing okay. Not disappointed that I traded him out though. um, yeah, so we'll just get Sky Moore back in. At tight end, So TJ Hawkinson, obviously, if you prefer him over Waller, you know, fair enough. I guess, that I'd have them at a similar sort of level. Mark Andrews is a good option, and, as well, didn't play week one, so um, got another week to look at him before his price gets away. Hunter Henry is an interesting, cheaper option, though. You can see he's got 28 points both weeks. Um, so, yeah, seems to be fairly well targeted there at New England. Granson, never heard of him before, but he obviously did all right this week, averaging 14 and a half. Not the worst cheap option. Logan Thomas is, a nice cheap option that has form if you're looking to go that sort of way. But again, Jake Ferguson, Sam Laporta, these sort of cheap options, they're all, very solid. They just need to get touchdowns. I think Ferguson actually did score a touchdown, so that would suggest that maybe his targets were a bit limited if he scored the same as Laporta, who's just getting fed passes. But we'll put him back in. Kickers, not that I'd be too worried about it, but the two cheapies are the top scorers this week, and they'd be close to top scorers overall. So yeah, so I'd imagine if you haven't got one of these two guys, I'd get them in. You can, tandem them, and they're perfectly fine. As you can see, the kickers, the highest scoring one is averaging 30 anyway, so you're not missing out on a lot by going cheap in the kicker department. And with the defense, the Cowboys are where it's at. They're head and shoulders above. Like I said, Micah Parsons is an absolute freak. So, I'd imagine they'd be the highest scoring for the season. That's probably why they're the highest price, just looking at the list. And as I said, I'm seriously considering making a trade to bring in the Cowboys defense this week. So, speaking of which, with my trades, I think because this is the week where prices are going to go up, we are going to boost. We are going to try and take advantage of that as much as possible. So we'll see if we can make this play with the Saints up to the Cowboys defense. So obviously Kyron Williams is going to be an in. So looking at this, the obvious out is Javonte Williams. He's going to go all right eventually, but we definitely want to bring him in. And so then if we want to bring in McCaffrey, it is going to be at the expense of Saquon Barkley. So seems very like for like and sideways. So I'd be more inclined to maybe go something like a Gibbs to where is he? Where is he? It's because he's only played. So to a Ford. Right? That's the sort of, I guess, option that I'm leaning towards at the moment. But a couple of other options that we could explore. If we do go with Saquon out, Williams out, so we'll bring in McCaffrey and Williams, and then we can bring in the defense like that. So, we could run with something like this setup, but obviously then, we're just doing that like for like trade with McCaffrey. The other sort of move we could do, and I guess this is about more so just trying to get rid of these more middle price options. There's nothing wrong with Cook and White, but we could go Cook and White down to Williams and Ford. There he is. And then that would allow us to go from Javonte all the way up to McCaffrey. So we've now got, the two gun running backs um, with those two. And yeah, so, there's a few different options there. Um, I guess the issue with this is the Cowboys' defense is already expensive and it's going to get away from us. McCaffrey is the leading running back, so we're going to miss out on points if we don't make that move. Williams and Ford are going to make a fair bit of cash as RB1s at rookie prices. So it is a tricky one. Um, so yeah, the question is, it'd be a lot easier if Barkley was healthy. We could sit off McCaffrey for a week. Um, it'd be handy if we could do four trades this week. But yeah, it's not how the game works. So what are we going to do? I think, yeah, well, definitely Williams out. Yeah, so I think the thing with, if I go back to him with Ford, is, he's got a nice break even, but he has got that three in his rolling average. So, assume that he goes all right. He might not even get to 40 this week, but next week he'll still have a massively negative break even. So I think that we want to target those bigger guns in McCaffrey and the Cowboys, but that would obviously involve trading out Saquon. So Saquon out, Kyron Williams in, and the Cowboys. And yeah. So I guess even if yeah, Barkley comes back in next week, we could look at something like with the Cook and White out. Probably that won't work in terms of money, will it? Might have to be someone like a Larve gets downgraded as well. But yeah, the more, yeah. All right, let's have a bit of a look at the list. So he got the free trial of assistant coach, so you can have a look at the break evens. So Allen and Hurts are going to dip in price. That's fine. Um, Chicago Bears, yeah, they'll dip in price, but doesn't matter. They're our bench fodder. We don't really care. So other than that, we've got really good value across the park. So I guess it's just chasing that extra bit of value potentially. Uh, Click the wrong thing. So what's McCaffrey's break even? 24. Yeah, so I don't think McCaffrey's going to get away from us. So maybe we'll go the cheaper options like Dallas negative 39. I think we need to get on negative 24 for Jerome Ford. All right, so let's do that. So let's go with the Saints up to Dallas defense. Lock that in for the season. Uh, and then I guess it doesn't really matter because they're going to be downgrades. So we'll get rid of Jamonte. And I think I'm actually going to get rid of Gibbs. So, I think he will improve throughout the season, but definitely more of a slow burn. So I think this is a bit of an aggressive shortcut to try and make some quick cash by bringing in Ford. All right, so I think Williams will start over Ford. Cook and White is the other toss-up, so Bijan's locked in, obviously. I mean, if Saquon isn't playing, it'll just become that, but just in case he is, um, Tampa Bay playing against Philly, so that's a tough one. Buffalo against Washington, I think, Denver scored a fair bit on them, so yeah, I'd favour Cook over White, but obviously White's going to come um, in the case that Barkley. I just saw Cleveland's playing Tennessee, which is a tough running back matchup. Do we really need to go with Ford? Do we save a trade? It's hard to say. Hmm. No, we'll go with that. Like I said, Ford's the number one man now there at Cleveland, so he'll score, he'll make money quicker than Gibbs will. so that's fine. Um, yeah, so wide receivers, I think, stay the same. Nakua's pretty much wide receiver one still, so that's fine. Those guys on the bench are doing the job. Dallas now defense. So in terms of vice captain, captain, so McCaffrey would be an awesome vice captain this week if you've got him and you've got someone on the bench you can sub in. Um, but as usual, we're going to go with the two quarterbacks. So Buffalo play early, Philadelphia play on Monday Night Football. So we might swing that around. Um, and even then, I think Philly against Tampa Bay, it's a good matchup for Hurts. So we'll probably leave him as captain. We don't have a loophole option anyway, so that's fine. Unless Saquon's out, but he plays Thursday night. Cool. So that's my team in terms of the league. Supercoach Nuff. So did the business over $5 foot long. So Nathan, good try, mate, but not quite. So who did he have? Mahomes, Zay Flowers. Okay, yeah, he's got McCaffrey and Pollard. So nice running backs there. Cole Pitts is a bit ick at the moment. Jamar Chase could lose a bit of cash, so he's one I'll definitely target in a few weeks as a sort of cheap option. And Zay Flowers, solid cheapie. Win the Broncos defense, so he got nothing. That's unfortunate. How much? That must be a fairly cheap option. Yeah, 5 mil. Fair enough. Left a couple of points on the bench, I suppose, as well. Gabe Davis. It's fine. How did everyone else go? So dropping dimes. Was he the bloke I played first week? He's had a big recovery. Yeah, so well done, Will. So from memory, had a very similar team, I guess. Similar score with 550. So let's have a look who he's got. Yeah, it's very much looking the same as what I had. How did he score extra? Can't work it out. So, hmm, no idea. Who's spot the difference? Oh, he played Gabe Davis. There you go. Lovely. And yeah, had Ridley on the bench, so that's a smart move. got you a few more points. Uh, son of Brady. Yeah. Derrick Henry, nice one. Oh, we had a draw. Bin Chickens and Timmy's caddy. So 456 all. Very cool. And Wacko Jacko doing the business over Austin Hecklers. I think that's supposed to be. Yeah, nice. Well done, lads. So, in terms of the league ladder, I'm number one. Go the Angry Pirates. Oh, so the only one that's won 2 games as well. So don't uh, don't take it easy on me, guys. You can fire up and have a crack. But yeah, I'm sure that'll change throughout the coming weeks, no doubt. Cool. So yeah, shout out to these guys. Hope it's going well for you. And shout out to everyone watching the videos. So as usual, if you've got any thoughts or questions, feel free to comment down below this video. If you're enjoying the content, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of good stuff. I think I saw I'm close to 110 subscribers. It's unreal that I'm still getting subscribers, even though it's supposed to be an NRL channel. So thanks for everyone who's getting on board. But other than that, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.